Welcome to the Bourbon Life Podcast, your source for all things bourbon. Join your hosts, Mark and Matt, as they drink and review bourbons, share news about upcoming events, interview the who's who in the bourbon world, and, most importantly, bring you along for the fun of living the bourbon life. Now, here's your hosts, Mark and Matt.
All right, everybody, welcome back for another episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me here tonight live in the Bourbon Life Studios, otherwise known as my basement, it is my good friend, Matt. Matt, how you doing out there, man?
Hey, Mark, I'm good out here. How are you in there and cozied up in your office there? We've got
well, after a rough beginning, Matt, we're doing
We've
good.
got a lot of technology going on right here.
We are doing good now. I'm happy to say that we got our glitches fixed in only a few minutes, man. So it's all my technology. So what can I say? But happy to be here. Happy to be back. Happy to have this guest on the show again. It's been a while, so I'm excited to have this conversation. It's going to be a lot of fun. Before we jump into the conversation, I do want to thank all of our sponsors. Thank you guys for everything you do for us. We could not bring you this show every week without all their help and support. So thank you for that. Matt, with that said, would you like to tell everybody who we have with us on the show tonight?
Absolutely. One of our favorite festivals here in Kentucky happens to be Bourbon on the Banks. It happens the first weekend in October every year, and we are so excited to have back with us the executive director of Bourbon on the Banks, Diane Strong. Diane, welcome on back to the Bourbon Life Podcast.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, we're thrilled to have you back on the show. It's been a hot minute, but we're happy to have you back on. We got some good stuff we're going to be drinking tonight as well. Thankful to Amzie, one of your guys there that oversees kind of the barrel selection and things for your festival. So he was able to get us some samples. So we're going to be drinking through a few things tonight. So it'll be a lot of fun. I think what I'd like to do, we'll just go ahead and talk about what we got poured up on this first round. Matt, you've got the little mini bottle out there. I believe this is an Angel's Envy, if I'm correct.
Yes. Yeah, I do have the little mini bottle out here. And we should say we are drinking samples that will be single barrels for this year's 2026 Bourbon on the Banks Festival.
Yeah.
So these were single barrels that the crew at Bourbon on the Banks went out and did the selection process on, picked the best of the best, and they are bringing it to you all at the festival this year. So we do have a 6+ year port finished Angel's Envy bourbon at 110 proof.
Oh, it's 110. Okay. That's
110.
very, very nice. Yeah, I hadn't even nosed it yet. Diane, did you get to go pick on these? Did you go with the crew to do these?
I have not done any of the picks yet this year. I am going to be doing Pursuit Bourbon on Monday.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
I think it's Monday, yeah.
I mean, you've got a few other little things going on. You can't always take off and go drink bourbon in the afternoon, right?
Yeah. Afternoon, that's not the thing. I would go if it was in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Half the time they're going at 10 a.m. And I'm sorry, that messes with my day. So I've got a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, it's like, here's 6 barrels, taste as much as you want. Oh, and by the way, we'll see you later. Good luck.
Yeah.
And it's like 11 o'clock. Okay, here's some crackers for you. Have fun, right? Matt, what do you pick out on the nose on this one, man?
It's big, rich, fruity, creamy. It's got a good amount of the bourbon comes through with it before you get that port finish influence. I get like really nice, good corn, good oak on it. And then the port really adds those nice fruity notes, that rich, deep port red wine, fig, plum, almost like a little raspberry type note. Just really big and rich, nice bold nose.
You know, it's funny, Matt, those rich notes like that you're talking about, to me, it almost comes across like an older whiskey in terms of like a leather kind of aroma to me. I don't know. I picked that out. And it seems like a lot of times when I drink Angel's Envy, I get that rich, dark fruit smell, but I seem to get almost like this hint of leather with it as well sometimes. And I know it's not old. So I'm assuming it must come from that port barrel influence, I would assume. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Diane, do you have any tasting notes? Anything stand out to you when you nose this one?
Definitely has a sweetness to it. And I think the raspberry comes through. I'm feeling a little bit of like a 80% dark chocolate.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah. Yeah. I can see that as well. See, it's the power of suggestion. Once you say it, it's like, oh yeah, you're right. There it is. And I love those headphones, by the way. I was going to tell you that earlier. You got cool looking headphones. You say your son hooked you up with those?
Thanks to my son. Yes. He's provided all of this for me.
Very nice. Well,
I'll tell him you said that.
You should, because I really like those. So Diane, let's talk, because it has been a few years since you've been on the show. Let's see, you guys started, was the first one in, was it 19? Is that right?
Yeah, 2019 was the inaugural year.
So this will be number 7? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's number 7. I know.
That's crazy.
I know. And I have been the director for 6 of them. So this will be the 6th one.
You've been through from the very, very get-go, right? From the baby steps all the way up to what it is now. So it's a lot has changed, but let's kind of go back and talk about the beginning of the festival, because I'm kind of curious, it started in 2019. Obviously it was just before COVID, but nobody knew that was going to happen, right? But what was the thought process going into that with the creation of the festival in the early years? What was the hope? What did you guys want to achieve with that? So
actually it began, with a Kentucky State University fundraiser, basically. Wendy is the one who created it. She worked for KSU. Her job was to fundraise that, and she was very good at it. And she looked around Frankfort and she's like, we are in the heart of bourbon and there's not a bourbon event here. So she thought it would be a great fundraiser for KSU. About midway through planning, Kentucky State University decided that they did not want to be associated with a bourbon event because they thought there was a conflict with young students and things. Yeah. And so they allowed her to continue planning it and everything. They were still going to get some proceeds from it. But the Bourbon Society took it over briefly because they had a 501c3, mm-hmm. and it was they basically were the overseeing body for that first year, and then Wendy went on to get her dream job at the time and left the day after the festival. So she kind of handed a thumb drive over to Renee True, who is our current current president of our board. And we had a little stint. We were going to try to have DFI, Downtown Frankfort Inc., run the program because they put on a lot of events downtown. But their new program director, he didn't last very long. It was clearly too much for that body to do it, and I stepped in and offered to give it a go. Yeah. I went from volunteer to like, okay, let me give it a shot. And then I had, of course, the pandemic came along. And so I had kind of a dry run year where I got to really do a lot of the stuff, but didn't actually launch it that year. So 2021, we came back and very successful.
So I'm kind of curious now, you're in your 7th year. So what do you think in terms of changes, like the biggest change that you can think of from when this started, when you first started working with them to where, I mean, I could think of things off the top of my head. I'm just kind of curious from your perspective, because you're the one you and your team, you guys have made this grow. You've grown to something that is very large. It's a great festival. A lot of people come and attend this. And year after year, you guys just continue to improve it. So I'm just kind of curious from your perspective, what do you think is the biggest change?
Going into the first year, it was, I was having to go out and reach, distilleries, asking them to participate. Right. And really focus on selling tickets. I mean, that took a lot of effort, and getting that advertisement out there. And, it was always, we didn't sell out that, in 2021. I think we started selling out in 2022, maybe 2023. But, that has evolved. And the sponsorships, just going and trying to find sponsorships. It's evolved into an event that speaks for itself. Over 50% of our attendees come back every year.
Wow, that's awesome.
And the tickets, before we even started marketing, we had already sold out special access. Those went in 35 minutes. Wow. Early entry went in 4.5 hours. General admission was halfway sold out after 24 hours. So that's huge. I mean, I still need to market for my sponsors and keep people remembering that the event actually is still happening, but it's selling itself, which is amazing. And we're having sponsors approach us.
Yeah.
They want to be a part of the event, especially with our philanthropic side. They want to be associated with it, and distilleries are, in line waiting to get in because we can't accept anymore. So
Yeah.
it's very humbling. It means a lot. And, it shows that what we're doing is right,
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great to see that you guys have continued to grow the way you have. And it's been a steady growth. It seems like year after year, and more publicity, more and more people talking about it, more and more people on social media, that are posting about Bourbon on the Banks. And it's been fun really to watch it over the last 6 years, especially to see what you all have done. And to take this festival is just on the riverbanks down in Frankfort and turn it into something that people are like coming from all over now to attend. I mean, that's impressive. That's a lot of work, Diane. So you guys should, I know you said it's very humbling, and I understand what you mean, but you definitely need to applaud yourselves and pat yourselves on the back for a job well done, because that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, 70% come from out of state. That's a lot of tourism.
No
that's
kidding.
a lot of beds.
Wow.
Heads in beds, as they call it.
Yeah.
We did an impact study, and that was back in 2024, and it's pretty incredible the amount of money that it brings into the area. I think it was like 1.66 million or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was, we've grown a little bit since then. Of course, we're very, very cautious about increasing the capacity of the event. It only increases when we can justify it with more room or a longer time.
Right.
We went from a 4-hour event to a 5-hour event, and now this year we're, the special access gets in at noon. So we know that the crowd will thin out a little bit later, so we can add more on the back end. But we don't want to be an event where people are standing in line, to get samples. We get called laid back a lot, and I think that's what people appreciate.
Yeah.
The people that enjoy this type of event like a more laid back event.
Yeah. Do you feel like you structure it that way intentionally then to make it that more of that laid back and just ease of access for everybody? Is that really your primary goal, you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing that I get, like, all of the changes and everything, every decision that we make is based on feedback we get. I send out surveys, and I hear what people like about the event, and I know those are the foundation that needs to stay the same. And it's I think we're different from a lot of events like that.
Yeah.
We don't have a whole bunch of separate programming, and that we don't have big huge bottle releases, drops, or anything. It's just a laid back event, and we have 90 vendors that are offering samples this year. They're not all distilleries.
Wow. Okay.
But we've got some wineries and breweries. We've got a meadery, and some rum and a couple different spirits and stuff. But you're gonna have a lot to choose from, and it's just, if there is a line or there's people chit chatting with that distillery, you can just go down to the next tent and there'll be plenty more. So
it's funny because one of my questions I was going to ask you with all the festivals, because there are more festivals, people are putting on festivals, because even when you see the news that the bourbon industry is this, the bourbon industry is that, sales are down, consumption's down, but tourism just seems to still be off the charts. I mean, it's crazy, I think, in Kentucky. And festivals are obviously, proof of that. There are a lot of festivals. So I was going to ask you how you distinguish yourselves, from the other festivals that are out there. And it sounds like it's really the fact that you all, you're laid back. I mean, you're not trying to be everything for everybody and have over programming and just overwhelming things going on all the time. Is that fair assessment, you think? Yeah.
I mean, I know people try to compare us to KFB, and I have so much respect for that event.
Sure.
I mean, this is 30 years they're doing it, and you could be sure that I listened to interviews with their director to hear about how everything went and learn from his mistakes.
Yeah.
And but we are not trying to be Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
Right.
There's only one of those, and they do it really, really well. And they're doing that, and we do our thing. And I say they're like Disneyland, and we're more like either like somewhere between the state fair and the county fair.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That's
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I like to describe it. And both places are amazing. I love going to the state fair.
Right.
I've never been to Disneyland.
Well,
I think that those are good analogies, though.
Thank
the
you,
reasons that we all love that those that have been to the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, it's great because there's all the pomp and circumstance and huge booths, and everyone's there, and there's people, there's programming going on. It's meant to be like a get you in the door, keep you entertained the entire time. It's just this massive festival. And I always enjoyed Bourbon on the Banks because after the long month of September and Bourbon Heritage Month, it just seems like a really good festival to unwind.
Yep.
It's really relaxed. You're down right on the river in Frankfort. You get in there. There are no lines. Everyone, distillers, master distillers, all your favorite employees, people that everybody's there. And it's just an easy wind down the sidewalk, down the river walk, hit a couple booths here and there where there's not a line, see your friends, listen to some good live music along the way with artists playing. It's just, like you said, Diane, it's just it's a very laid back, a very informal but great time.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't typically, we do have the Bourbon Women tent this year, and they are doing some programming in there, but you don't need to worry about, making it to specific locations at a certain time and, for different events and things like that. But yeah, it is definitely different. And, people ask me if I go to Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and I don't, because I hear about it. I listen to interviews and all of that stuff. But first of all, it's right before our event, and it would be really overwhelming. But also, like, I can see me going in and being like, oh my gosh, we don't do any of this.
Yeah, right.
It's like, should we do some of this stuff? But, I need to keep growing based on what the feedback is in our surveys. That's the direction we need to keep going. I think that's why people come back.
I agree, Diane. Like Matt said, I mean, that's part of the fun, probably the biggest part of the fun for me when we go to the festival is that it is after September. Everything's crazy in September. It's that first weekend in October, football season. Everybody's in a good mood. And it's just fun. I mean, you just go, and like Matt said, you get to see people that you don't get to see all the time, and you get to hang out and talk, and you get to see people in the industry. You get to see your friends. It's laid back. The music's going, you got different bands playing and all sorts of different things going on. So yeah, I agree. I think it's just a fun time. And you guys, it's like a nice niche that you all have filled, and you have embraced that. And obviously that's what people were wanting, because people keep coming back, and more people keep coming back, and more people keep wanting to come to the event. Right.
Right.
So that's got to make you feel like, yeah, we're doing things right.
Yeah. Yeah. I love talking to the attendees. They'll reach out, and I've been told like 3 times this year. We started as a couple, and one of them is up to 14 people that come every year. They're up to 14 this year. And then one started as a group of 4, and now they're a group of 12. Wow. And so they come back, they bring their friends, and so, I mean, word of mouth is the most genuine form of, marketing. So
absolutely.
That's great.
Now, have you sold all your general admission tickets, or do you still have?
Oh yeah. They're long gone.
I thought they were. So you limit it.
I think they were gone in just a couple of weeks, but we do have Twilight tickets.
Okay.
Those are just for the last 2 hours. And, I don't see people flying from Texas for 2 hours, but if you're in the region or the area,
right,
it's plenty of time. And then of course we've got the free Hauser Tavern after party.
Oh yeah.
And so you could come from 4 to 6 and then hit the after party until 9, and you made a day of it. Yeah.
It'd be a good time. Matt, we're almost at the end of the round. Let's jump back over to the whiskey real quick on this Angel's Envy pick. What was it? 110 proof?
110 proof, yeah.
Man, what do you think about it on the palate and finish, Matt?
It's big and bold, spicy right up front. Good notes of bourbon. I get a nice corn comes across with it, a nice sweetness from the corn. Then it's surprisingly spicy after that. I think that port really imparts like a rich, deep spice, and the bourbon itself is just warm. Really, really long finish on it too, like big old Kentucky hug, just nice and warm down the pipe.
Yeah. Now, Diane, you got me hooked on this chocolate thing. So it took a couple sips, but I was like, wait a second. I just got like a Tootsie Roll. When you chew on the Tootsie Roll and that after that chocolatey yumminess.
Yep. Got a little sweeter.
I swear. I mean, I was like, and now all I can taste on the finish is a Tootsie Roll. But I agree with Matt. Big, bold, spicy, 110 proof. It's not like, I don't know. It doesn't really burn my palate. It doesn't knock me out. I think it's pretty approachable, even at 110 proof, but just a nice combination of flavors for sure. So, Diane, anything stand out to you?
No, I agree with what you said. It's real spicy on the back of the tongue there.
Yeah.
And then it gives you a nice hug.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, guys, we're at the end of the round. Let's take a quick break. Let's get a word from our sponsors. We'll come back with more with Diane Strong, the Executive Director of Bourbon on the Banks, in just a minute.
Hey, Bourbon Life listeners, it's Carrie Van Winkle from Pappy & Company. You may have heard my great-grandfather Pappy Van Winkle's famous saying, we make fine bourbon at a profit if we can, at a loss if we must, but always fine bourbon. That commitment to quality still inspires everything we do today. It's why my sisters and I started Pappy & Company. We make products we love using in our own homes, and we hope they help you slow down, appreciate the small moments, bring a little more joy to everyday life. And we're big fans of the Bourbon Life Podcast, so we wanted to share 15% off with all of you. So use code 15BourbonLife when you check out at pappyco.com. And if you're ever in Louisville, please stop by the store. We'd love to say hello. Cheers.
So here's the thing about District 7 Social Hall. It's not just a bar, and it's definitely not just a game spot. It's one of those places you go with friends and end up staying way longer than planned. It's located in Lexington's Distillery District, just steps from the Bourbon Trail, and it's built for fun. They've got duck pin bowling, games, and a self-serve beer wall, so you can pour exactly what you want when you want it. The bar program is legit. There's a fantastic bourbon selection, great cocktails, and plenty for people who just want to hang out and sip something good. And parking? Free parking, which honestly matters more than people admit. But here's where it gets really cool. Hidden inside District 7 is Book Club, a secret wine room you'd never expect. It's quieter, moodier, and feels like a speakeasy for people who actually love wine and bourbon. Inside Book Club, they've got hard-to-find bourbons tucked away, along with a curated wine list, making it one of those if you know spots. So whether someone's coming off the Bourbon Trail, meeting friends for a night out, or just looking for a place that doesn't feel like cookie cutter, District 7 hits that sweet spot. Fun, social, a little unexpected, and easy to get to. Be seen, be social. District 7. All right, everybody, welcome back for round 2 of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me tonight live here in the Bourbon Life Studios, it is my good friend, my bourbon drinking buddy, Matt. Matt, how you doing, man?
Mark, I'm good. How are you?
I'm living the dream, having a great time, having a great conversation. I'm drinking whiskey with my friends. What more could I want?
Yeah, it's almost like a day at Bourbon on the Banks.
Yeah, right. Exactly. We're having a good time, having a lot of fun. We're not going to be here for 6 hours though, but it's pretty close, pretty similar to it, right? So I do want to thank all of our sponsors before we get back into the conversation. Thank you guys for everything you do for us. We couldn't bring you the show every week without all their help and support. So thank you for that. Matt, with that said, you want to tell everybody who we have with us tonight?
Absolutely. Diane Strong is the Executive Director at Bourbon on the Banks in Frankfort, Kentucky. And we've got her on. This is her third time on the show. And we are chatting about the Bourbon on the Banks Festival happening. I mean, we didn't mention the dates.
Oh, that's right. You said the first weekend, but it is October.
Yeah.
Well, the main festival is October 3rd, right? Yeah.
Right.
On Saturday.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
Diane, welcome on back for the second round here.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
Well, thanks for staying. Thanks for not leaving.
Yeah, I forgot that I had been on twice before, and I will say a big thank you for bringing me on the very first year that I was doing it. That's a big deal, and we owe a lot of our initial success, especially to social media and people with podcasts who were generous enough to get us on to talk about our event and, spread the word.
Yeah.
When our marketing budget was so low.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we're happy to do it. I'm happy to be reconnected back with you guys this year as well. So that's a lot of fun because we're going to be working together we're going to be doing a little bit of a collaboration for the festival. So we are gonna have the mobile podcast studio on site at the festival on Saturday. So that's going to be kind of fun. I'm working to line up some short interviews with some of the people that are going to be there, master distillers, blenders, etc. We'll have those outside of the mobile studio. So we'll have that set up. We'll probably have college football on the TV when we're not doing interviews.
Which is great. I love that. We actually had a year where people were waiting to go inside because they wanted to watch the game on their phone or something. And we ended up getting the plant board to set up several years just in case there was a game going on. But I appreciate you doing that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We got the Starlink satellite. We'll set that up, get the outside TV going, have some people stop by. But yeah, if you guys are attending the festival, be sure to look for the Bourbon Life Mobile Podcast studio. Will be on site there, having a good time all day there. So appreciate that opportunity, Diane. Happy to partner with you guys. Again,
you're going to provide a little bit of shade, a little extra seating, which is good.
Yes.
The survey last year really, of course, we've been really fortunate with the weather.
Yes.
It's a little on the warm side, but I will not complain. But people did. But it's
nothing you could do.
No, but
right?
I mean, but there's a lot of sun, and we do have a lot of mature trees, but there is a lot of open space. And so one of the bigger requests was we need more shade.
Yeah.
We need more seating, and every year we add more seating. And this year is not any different. We're adding like 6 more benches, but we've added some umbrellas to many of the picnic tables that we've added over the years too. So you are contributing to the
absolutely.
Shade,
We're going to have the awning.
So thank you.
We'll have the awning out. We'll have the folding chairs, the camping chairs. I've got, 8, 10, 12 of those. I'll have those set up. Yeah, I have my speaker out there, and we'll be interviewing some people, like I said, just doing some short 10, 15-minute interviews. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great afternoon, no doubt about that. So, Matt, let's talk about what we're drinking on this round. You got the little bottle up there. So what you got?
Thank you. I almost forgot about that. We have another single barrel that will be available at Bourbon on the Banks. And Diane informed us offline here that there's a theme to what we're drinking tonight. And we are going to be drinking finished products. Yeah. So this is an 8.5-year-old Oloroso finished bourbon from Dark Arts. So this is going to be 60% corn, 36% rye, 4% malted barley, 115.4 proof.
Woo, moving it up there. Yeah, I like that. Is AMZ a big high proof drinker? Is that why he's picking everything, just leaving it? He doesn't want anything.
I'm not sure, actually. I mean, I tend to lean towards the higher proof myself, but he drinks everything. But the team he took to that one, I guess, is...
He drinks everything. I saw him with a bottle of Clorox. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, my gosh. Matt.
Gotta love it,
yeah. Matt, what do you pick up on this, man?
I get a lot of the Oloroso influence on the nose with this one. There's a lot of fig, a lot of plum, oranges come across to me. Almost like Fig Newton type of an aroma with it, with kind of a sweet orange or zesty citrus on the back, almost like raisin type flavors or aromas as well. But a little bit of spice from that high rye bourbon as well.
Man, that Fig Newton note, Matt, I wasn't picking that out, but as soon as you said it, I'm like, oh, damn, dude. It's like, that sweet figgy, even almost like the breading of the cookie. It almost smells like the entire cookie to me in this glass now. That's a wild call. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. See, I'm glad Matt got his system working. I'm so happy Matt was able to hang around with us.
Well, I'm familiar with this one.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. Very good point, Matt. Yeah. So, Diane, anything stand out to you nose-wise? Anything jump out to you?
It's interesting that you added the cookie to that, because it's like a sugar crusted cookie, how it's sugar flaky.
Absolutely.
So it reminds me of the fig cookies my mother-in-law made.
Oh yeah. Oh, gotcha. Very nice. Oh gosh, Matt, this is man, 118 proof. Is that what you said? 115.
15.4. 115.4.
It does not nose 115.
No.
What is Oloroso? Surely I'm not the only one listening that doesn't know what that is.
Oloroso is a variety of sherry.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Oloroso sherry cask. That's actually Who uses Olorosa? Did Angel's Envy used to use that?
Yeah.
They used Olorosa sherry cask in some of their stuff, didn't they? Angel's Envy? I thought so.
Angel's Envy's done Oloroso.
Yeah, yeah. That's I think their primary bourbon's Olorosa sherry, isn't it? It's not, or is it port?
It's port.
It is the port. Yeah, because we're drinking.
Yeah, it's the
right. Sorry, Diane, just got off on a tangent on you there. So let's jump back. Let's talk about Bourbon on the Banks. That's what people are here for. They want to hear about that. Let's talk about this year, because it's not just the Saturday. You talked a little bit about that. We can go over that in a little more detail as well. Everything going on Saturday, but you've also got stuff going on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even Saturday evening as well. So can you tell everybody, anybody that's coming to the festival, especially, or anybody that's thinking about, can you tell them what they can look forward to and all the different things going on?
Sure. So we've got some free events and we've got ticketed. And it all starts off on Thursday, and the very first event is at 2 p.m. and that's on the Bourbon Belle. That event sold out the first day, but it is a really neat event with Heather Wibbles.
Oh, yeah.
And Ingram, which it's on the Bourbon Belle boat. She does mixology classes typically. This is more of kind of like a chemistry class that she's doing this time. And it's so sweet. I mean, there's only 30 people that fit on the boat for this, and it's just, you really got to snatch it up right away. But that's a neat way to start the day. But Whiskey Thief has got the kickoff party at their distilleries. They have been doing that for years. They get a live band. They've got the bar there. You can pay for the tasting tour. And of course, they've got the fire pit. And last year they burned barrels. Got some great photos of barrels burning.
Wow.
Yeah. And of course, they've got a goat or two, maybe more. I don't know. It's such a neat farm atmosphere. If you've not been out there, you definitely want to go check it out.
Yes, I've been there once, and I was like, those guys are printing money.
Yeah. You know, you fill your own bottle and take it home, and so that's 6 to 9. That's on Thursday. That's a good time. Friday we start the Four Roses pub stroll on Thursday as well. And that's, you get a passport, you go around. If you can get 5 stamps on your passport, you turn it in to one of the bars or restaurants at the end of the day, and you have a chance to win tickets to the festival.
Oh, that's really cool. So, that's a nice idea.
Huh, I never knew about that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think we've got like 15 participating restaurants and bars.
Nice.
Too, so, and that goes all the way through Saturday. So you don't even have to do 5 stops in one day. But then Friday's busy. We've got a lot going on. It starts with bourbon pairing with Peggy No Stevens and Boondocks whiskey. That's at 2 p.m. at the Kentucky History Center. There are tickets available for that.
Okay.
Limestone Bistro, which is just a phenomenal restaurant right down from Buffalo Trace. They're preparing the 3 different foods that go with the samples, and that's a really nice event. That goes until about 3:30. And then starting at 5 p.m. at the same location, we have the VIP reception and bourbon auction. Larrikin Bourbon. Larrikin, I was corrected. It's my Australian accent. Larrikin Bourbon.
Larrikin.
They're the presenting sponsor for that.
Great.
And this is their second year doing that. They donate a barrel to the auction, so you have an opportunity to bid on the full barrel and barrel pick experience. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Nice.
So, and another neat thing that's in the auction is Whiskey Thief is donating. It's part of their sponsorship. It's a build your own mash experience. So you're actually creating your own mash bill, and you're going to age it. So this is something that's going to take several years. But you can come back, once a year, whatever, taste it. And then eventually you'll bottle, I think it's 36 bottles that you get.
Oh, wow.
It's not the whole,
the whole barrel.
But yeah. So that's a really neat thing that they offered that last year, and it's extremely unique, and I like that. But there's, Buffalo Trace donates a lot of really cool stuff to that auction. There's a lot of local charities that put items in there that they can get the proceeds from. So it's nice to have an audience, a bourbon audience that's going to bid on, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a basically full dinner tasting from anywhere between 10 and 12 distilleries outside. There's also a winery out there and stuff. It's a lovely event. Tastings in the garden and the food in the Brown Foreman room, and then the live auction, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that live auction is also, it's like a rare and vintage bourbon auction, correct? Is that true?
It's yeah. I mean, the stuff that
things.
gets in the auction is going to be the more valuable and
Yeah.
stuff. There is a silent auction as well, and that's going to be less expensive items. And so there's a little bit for everybody. You don't have to just be flush with cash and going to bid on a barrel.
Yeah.
It's great, and there are tickets for that still available. There's you'll run into some really cool people when you're there, and so it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, you've got the festival itself on Saturday.
Well, we're not done with Friday
not
yet.
done with Friday yet. I'm so sorry. Wow. Okay.
Easy,
So
Mark.
on
Man,
Friday
look at me.
there's a free event. It's called Bourbon Street on Broadway.
Okay.
Express Credit Union has been the sponsor for that. They've been phenomenal. But that's the family-friendly event. But there's also all the restaurants and bars participate. We are part of a mixed district. So if you want to go into a bar and get a drink, you can walk around. And we also have, drink vendors on the street, lots of food vendors. It's kind of circus themed.
Okay.
I actually created this event back in 2019. Wendy told me to create an event that's free for the public. The city, when they said that we could do this event, they said, that's fine, but you need to offer something to the community that doesn't cost anything. So this is what I had created. I wanted it to be different than just the downtown concert series. So there's circus. Cincinnati Circus has a huge, rolling act that goes, and we've got stilt walkers, we've got human statues, we've got all just different types of street performers and fire acts. And then we have a bunch of local nonprofits and stuff that set up on the old Capitol lawn, and they have free activities.
Nice.
The requirement for them setting up is you have to offer something free for the kids to do. And since there are so many, I tell them, don't just bring a coloring piece of paper because nobody's going to come to your table. You got to have something big with some bang, for the kids to come. So every year they come with bigger, better stuff for the kids to do. And it's a great event. That's from 6 until 9:30. And it's been several years, but it's sounding like Kentucky State University Marching Band is going to kick it off this year again.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you've never seen those guys perform, it is worth it. Yeah, they'll march in at 6 and they'll play several songs, and then they'll march back out about 6:15, 6:20, and then the whole thing will get going.
Yeah. That sounds like a great time, and it's family friendly, kid friendly.
Yep.
So bring the family,
Absolutely.
right? And it's free.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
before we jump into Saturday, I'm just kind of curious talking about that. It sounds like Frankfort. I mean, the funny thing is that, people think bourbon, they think Bardstown, they think Lexington, they think Louisville. And Frankfort is kind of overlooked in that for some reason, in my mind. And it's unfortunate, other than, of course, Buffalo Trace is there. But I don't think Frankfort gets as much love. So I think, number one, I think it's really cool that you guys have built this festival there in Frankfort, because Frankfort is so essential to the bourbon industry in Kentucky. I mean, there's no question about that.
The bourbon history in
Exactly.
Frankfort
Yes.
is incredible. E.H. Taylor, and we've got so many. Of course, Jay Mattingly is in town. Buffalo Trace.
Right.
You got Castle and Key down the
Right.
road. You
Yep.
got Whiskey Thief, Woodford Reserve, Glen Creek. I mean, you don't have to spend more than 10, 15 minutes in a car, and you can hit 6 distilleries. So
Yeah, absolutely. But it sounds like
we like to say we're the heart of bourbon.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. But it sounds like the city has also really embraced you guys. Has that been a struggle at all, or have they always really been open to what you're doing and what you're hoping to achieve?
I have no idea about the first year, how the interaction with the city went, but I will say that they have been phenomenal to work with. Yeah. They bend over backwards, and the amount of effort that it takes, and city staff and everything, they're incredible. But I will say, every year it gets easier. We go and meet with them once a month, and we go off of the last year's notes and we update it, and they're like, this is easy now. We're getting in, and the fact that they're not shutting down streets and everything for the festival makes a huge difference.
Right.
It's all contained at at the riverfront park there, and so it runs pretty smoothly.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. That's one of the things when you go to the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, having to navigate shut down streets and which streets are one way and the whole infrastructure around there. I didn't think about that, but yeah, you're absolutely right, Diane. Being at Riverfront Park, everything is contained right down there. That is true. Yeah.
And they provide, the transit. They run the trolley and the transit buses from our parking garage. The free parking garage for all the attendees is on the Mayo Underwood, and they'll run that circuits and drop people off, and then at the end they'll take them back to their car. But they're also taking people back to hotels a little bit, as they can. But we have it's MB Executive Shuttle that is working with us this year. He's providing a whole fleet, taking scheduling in advance pickups from your hotel to get you there when you need to be, and then taking you home, but also like on the spot. We do have Lyft and Uber here, but it's just not always reliable. Sadly, and I assume someday we will have like a consistent Uber and Lyft presence, and they're there around the festival, but there's especially the first couple years, people would get a ride like from Lexington, and when they go to get an Uber home, it's not happening,
right? Yeah.
At all.
Spending the night in Frankfort on the river.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I tell you what, Diane, we're close to the end, so let's save Saturday. Let's talk about that next round. Is that okay? Because I want to dive in and talk about everything going on there. But I want to get back to the whiskey on this round before we close it out and talk about the palate and the finish on this dark arts Oloroso finish. Matt, what do you get palate and finish on this one?
This is another big and spicy one. I think the bourbon really makes it so where on the nose I picked up a lot of the Oloroso finish. I think the palate on this one has a good amount of the bourbon comes through, nice and spicy right up front. That 36% rye gives a lot of heat, cinnamon, cracked peppercorn, and then that Oloroso finish comes through. I get almost like a pecan, like a toasted pecan with this one before some of those like fig and fig Newton notes come in. There's that cookie or that pie crust, that kind of like that doughy note to it as well. And then the orange, like orange oil or orange citrus comes through for me on the back of the palate before it kind of leads into sort of like raisin or almost like a festive holiday, like fruitcake type flavor on the finish.
Yes, I think that's a great way to describe that, Matt. And I feel like I did find the proof, and yes, it is spicy. So there is that combination between spice and proof, but I do feel like that proof kicked in. I really didn't pick it up on the nose, but on the palate, I feel like that I got that kick. But it is spicy as well, which is nice. But yeah, man, just a nice combination. Great finished on this one. Great pick. Hams did a good job there, Diane.
Yeah, and it's got more rye. I'm a rye girl, so
okay.
I really like that explosion in the mouth there.
Yeah, that's what I was asked. Was there anything else note-wise that stood out to you on your palate and finish on this one?
Well, he had said something about pecan, and then I'm like, no, I get almond, but I don't know that that's real. I think that's just me like fighting Matt. But
That's fair.
It's a cage match
have,
to the death.
Yeah. Like a Weathers original kind of a little bit.
I gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, Matt.
No, I can absolutely see that. I know these Oloroso barrels very well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, we're at the end of the round, so let's take a quick break. Let's get a word from our sponsors. We'll come back with more with Diane Strong, the Executive Director with Bourbon on the Banks, in just a minute. Welcome to the kitchen table at James B. Beam Distilling Company, where every visit is a celebration of tradition and flavor. Did you know that the kitchen table is nestled right within the heart of the distillery? That's right. You can experience the essence of James B. Beam's legacy while savoring their delectable dishes. Join them every Wednesday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. for a culinary journey like no other. Planning a special event? Let the kitchen table be your host, creating unforgettable memories for you and your guests. For more information and reservations, visit beamdistilling.com. The kitchen table at James B. Beam Distilling Company. Come as a friend, leave as family. All right, everybody, welcome back for the third and sadly final round of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me here, as always, it's my good friend, Matt. Matt, how you doing out there, man?
Mark, I'm good. Good. Things looking good in mission control.
Got it all in control, man. Everything's running. You know, I shouldn't say that, Matt, because technical difficulties.
Why'd you do that? Why did you do that?
Just hopefully I did not just jinx us, but no. Since the beginning, since we finally figured everything out after a few minutes at the beginning, Matt, we got it going. The funny thing is, and I was telling our guest that we record a lot of live shows now. We're very fortunate to do that, and I think that was the goal back in 2020 when we started this. We're going to go everywhere. We're going to record live shows with guests. It's going to be awesome. 2 weeks after we started our first show, I think it was like COVID shuts everything down. So then we started doing everything online. So these remote recordings saved us and really helped us grow into what we are today. But it's fun when we come back to it. It's like a little dusty, a little rusty. Got to shake the cobwebs out sometimes and make sure I remember what I'm doing here. But no, we're having a good conversation. We're having a lot of fun. Just really happy to have this guest back on our show. It's been a few years, and we're really happy to have her back. Before we jump back into the conversation, though, I do want to thank all of our sponsors for everything they do for us. We couldn't bring you this show every week without all their help and support. So thank you for that. Matt, with that said, why don't you tell everybody who we have with us tonight?
Absolutely. Being able to record remotely is how we got to first meet our guest, along with her cohorts, Amzie Wenning and Renee True.
That's right.
The crew that runs Bourbon on the Banks Festival. And of course, we have the executive director, Diane Strong, back with us again. And it's so great to connect with her. We are recording over internet right now, but we get to go to the festival and see everybody, catch back up with Diane, Renee, Amzie, and everyone that we've met out there. And that's what we love so much about these festivals, is getting to see everybody. So Diane, thank you for coming on back, the third round of the Bourbon Life podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Gosh, your setup's so great. You sound great. You look great. Your headphones are awesome.
Yay!
I'm so happy.
Nailed it.
I am so happy to have guests that take pride and take the time to do, because sometimes you get guests that you're like, wait, I can't hear a word you're saying. Hold on a second. No, but I love it. That's awesome. So thank you very much for that. Makes my life easier when I edit everything after the fact, Diane.
Good. I'm glad to step it up.
Yeah, appreciate that. Matt, let's talk about this, what we got poured up here for round 3.
Yeah, this is another finished product, and where our first 2 single barrels were a wine finish, this is a wood finish.
Okay.
So this is a 7.5 year high rye bourbon that is finished in finished with Mizunara, which is a Japanese oak variety. So that's going to have like a toasted or charred Mizunara profile to it as well. And this, again, is one of the single barrels that will be available for sale exclusively at the Bourbon on the Banks Festival. So we're just giving you all a little taste through of some of the bottles that will be available that were handpicked and curated for this festival by the crew at Bourbon on the Banks.
Yeah. Diane, you guys are selling these at the festival? Will they be on site?
The distilleries will be selling them.
That's what. Okay.
I believe there's 11 different distilleries that are part of the Barrel Select program this year.
Awesome.
There are on the website right above all of the logos of the participating. They'll be sliding through. You can see who all is included in that.
I just wanted to make sure that what Matt was saying was correct. I didn't want people to show up and be like,
that's fair.
Where's my damn bottles? I want to buy bottles. And be like, nope, you gotta go across the street to the liquor store and buy it.
No, we sell bottles there.
And one of the great things is all of these distilleries, I imagine, will be pouring up samples of these single barrels.
Yes.
So you don't just take our word for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, everybody that's going there will get the chance to try these specially curated single barrels for the festival, at the festival, and then you can make your decisions on how many you're taking.
How many you're going to take home with you. Matt, what was the proof on this one? 118?
118.7.
0.7. Yeah, again, not on the nose, not picking up.
It does not smell high
at all. Matt, what do you pick out in terms of the nose on this one? Anything stand out to you?
Yeah, it's very subdued for the proof. It does not smell like that in the least. There is some spice coming across from that high rye bourbon, but the Mizunara to me really chills everything out. There's a floral note to it, almost kind of like springtime floral, maybe like a touch of lavender or like a lilac type flower.
Okay.
Little bit of like beachy sandalwood, almost like maybe a touch of coconut as well.
Okay.
And then like a jasmine
Man.
So kind of,
Wow, that's a lot of flowers.
I'm just like, okay.
I don't smell a single flower. So those of you out there that don't like drinking flowers, just give it a try anyway.
Yeah.
it is
I
not
can't get past the
potpourri.
sweet. It's just all I smell is sweetness and
Yeah.
like a toasted marshmallow.
Yeah, it is toasted.
It definitely has that
toasted
toasty
note.
from that Mizunara. That toastiness definitely comes through, and that sweetness stands out as well. I was almost getting like, Matt, you're talking about different florals, and I was almost like picking out like a little hint of honeysuckle or something on this one. It was
I can see
very,
that.
very sweet. Not quite like a full on honey, but maybe just like a summer drive in the morning down a country road, windows open, the honeysuckles. And what are you laughing about, Matt? I'm just telling you.
It's invasive.
What-
It's invasive.
Yeah. What are you taking your date to go eat Asian carp afterwards or something?
We're going to pull off the
About all these-
road and we're going to pick honeysuckle flowers and pull the stem and, lick the little
Yeah.
dollop of honey off of it. Man, that's romantic, Matt. You don't know what romance is. Anyway, let's jump back over and talk about the festival. That's what people are here for, Matt. Come on, man.
No kidding.
Man, so let's talk about Saturday. We've talked about Thursday, Friday. Let's talk about Saturday, Diane. Tell everybody what all's going on for sure.
Well, so the way our event works, we people enter in waves, and that's another reason we're able to, we're at 2,900 this year.
Okay.
It's sold out. That is our max capacity. But so the first, and we're starting at noon this year. That's new.
Okay.
One of the requests, I always ask in the survey, like, do you want it to be 2 days? And the vast majority does not,
Okay.
but they would like it to be a little longer. And so we have to think about our volunteers and about logistics and to see, because you also have to have all of these vendors set up in the morning. Like, we have to make sure they have enough time, and you also have to break down, and part of that's in the dark sometimes.
Yeah.
So this is, we're not starting earlier for everybody. It's just special access. There's 300 of those people, and they get in at noon. The whole festival to themselves. This will play into future years if, whether we can pull this off,
Okay.
starting earlier. And then at 1:00, we have our early entry ticket holders that come in. And then general admission will come in at 2 p.m. And then we do have the twilight ticket, which gets you in from 4 to 6.
Okay.
The whole event ends at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
But you come in, you get a tasting glass. We ask all the distilleries to leave their plastic at home. We feel very responsible when it comes to our footprint.
Okay.
And, in 2019, I was a volunteer that helped clean up after the event. And I witnessed overflowing garbage cans filled with tiny little plastic sample cups. And that was one thing that I insisted on changing that very first year. And so Liquor Barn has been partnered with us as a sponsor to help with those tasting glasses ever since.
Great.
So you take the tasting glass. We do have rinse buckets around if you feel like you need one. And you have access to all of the vendors that are there sampling. And we, one of the big thing that the volunteers will do is encourage people to not just stop when they get to the bottom of the ramp. I'm like, you come up over the flood wall.
Yeah.
You can't, when you're waiting in your ticket line, you can't see any of this. The staging is all done in the Bourbon on the Banks Festival Pavilion parking lot. It used to be the Farmers Market parking lot, but that's kind of a different story. That's where our staging is. You come up over the hill and you can see, all you can see is section 1. And we have 3 sections. So some people actually think that's all there is, even though there's a lot in section 1, but it goes down for section 2, section 3, and it's very long. So we encourage people to just head on down, especially when 2 o'clock comes in, it's kind of crowded, but you just need to disperse yourselves.
Sure.
And then it balances out quickly. And we've got a handful of merchandise vendors that have very specific bourbon related items for people that like to go shopping, which is nice. We've got, we have the food court there. There's several different varieties of food trucks, everything from, Chinese food to poke bowls to lobster truck. So lots of stuff to choose from there. We do sell beer by the can. They are the only ones that are allowed to sell by the drink. There's the wineries do samples. They're allowed to sell bottles.
Okay.
Obviously the distilleries sampling only, and they sell bottles. There's really no need to be purchasing by the glass. I think it would just add to the chaos,
right,
you know, but for the person that comes with somebody who's not a bourbon drinker and they're a beer drinker, that's a completely different drinker, and it gives them something to sip on while they're down there too. So.
Yeah. And there's music. I mean, you got a lot of different things going on. It's not just come and drink bourbon or rye whiskey. I mean,
absolutely. We've got 6 different musicians. They're set up all along. It's a linear park. So, when you can no longer hear this musician, you can hear the next musician playing. And we've also got bourbon societies that are set up there, and we ask that they provide some sort of educational, interactive thing for the attendees to be doing. Sure. Anyone that sets up there, we don't have vendors that are set up just to, sell you cars or anything. They're all offering something to our attendees. Yeah. So it's neat in that aspect. And the Bourbon Women tent this year, that is new. That is a 20 by 30 tent. Oh, and, wow. Okay. Yeah, it seats, I think it's 65 people. Wow. So it's kind of first come, first serve. Susan Rigler is going to start off at 1. She'll do the history of Mary Dowling. Okay. Mary Dowling is the sponsor of that tent. So there's 3 different products that'll be served in there. But she'll do a tasting in the history of Mary Dowling, which is a fascinating history, I'm sure. Oh, yeah. You're familiar. And then Peggy Stevens will do a 45-minute program with a pairing, just, the small bites and things, but really, teaching about pairing bourbons. And then Jennifer Bryan will end off at 4:30. So even the Twilight ticket holders that come in at 4 can still make one of those programs. Yeah. She'll do a mixology thing. Nice. As fun as she is, it'll be a blast. Oh, yeah. So there is that programming and more opportunities to sit down in the shade.
Yeah, or come down to the Bourbon Life mobile studio. If
that's
if
right.
There's no room, listen
to some interviews.
That's right.
Maybe get interviewed. That's right. Yeah, because I think I'm gonna try to do that as well. Obviously record some actual reactions from guests, people attending. I think that's always fun to get those honest feedback type of interviews from people on the spot, especially after they've had a pour or two. Yeah. No holding back.
That's right.
Yeah, we've collected some interviews over the years, and it is fun to listen to it.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I think it's going to be a great time. But, you guys, not only is the event really cool, but you guys you really have a purpose, too, for what you do, and you give back to the community. So I really would like to talk about that as well, Diane, what you all have done over the last 7 years. It's very impressive. So can you kind of talk about that and your program of giving back?
Sure. So like I said, it began as a fundraiser for KSU. So that very first year, the plan was to donate money to Kentucky State University for their distilling program that they have there. Mm-hmm. And so the first year we were able to give them $10,000. And it's basically, we set some money aside to fund the following year, and we have grown it. Originally we started with that scholarship, and then we're like, well, we've got more money. There was a lot of scholarships already for that program at KSU, mm-hmm. So we realized we needed to find somewhere else. So then we decided we would create our own scholarship, and you'd be really surprised how hard it is to give money away for a bourbon scholarship. We would not have very many applicants. So that evolved into us giving money to the Bourbon Women Foundation for their SIP scholarship program. Okay. And then also the Freddie Johnson program that's run through the Kentucky Bourbon Guild. Is that what it is? I think so. Or the Black Bourbon Guild out of Lexington. And so those are the scholarship fund recipients that we give away. But it kind of started last year where we decided we wanted to give some money to local charities. And we implemented a program as well where our volunteers could they could identify the nonprofit that they want their dollar. So every hour they work, we give them $20 to donate to.
That's awesome.
They get to choose. And so, yeah, we've built it up. And last year we gave away over $100,000 to local nonprofits and civic organizations.
Wow.
And it's so cool because we didn't plan it that way, but it evolved that way. And it's just so satisfying. I can't tell you how fun it is to work for a festival that, the goal is just so genuinely good all the way around,
Yeah.
And as far as I know, we're the only, at least the only bourbon festival that gives the vast majority of their net proceeds back.
I was going to say, I can't think of any other program. I mean, I know there's some ones out there that obviously do give back, but not the majority of what they generate, Diane. That's really impressive. I mean, it really is.
Yeah. And it gives me, when I plan my budget, I'm very, very cautious about how we spend our money and everything, because I know that every dime I can save goes back to the community. It's, if we had all this money that we keep getting every year, I can see us going a completely different direction, because it's like, we could just, build a permanent site or, it's like, but it keeps us very humble. It keeps the event humble, because we keep a tight budget and get creative. I can't tell you how many in-kind sponsors we have. And, at the end of the day, it saves us a ton of money. Yeah. So,
well, that's kind of a nice segue, because I was going to ask you about the future, because we're getting close to the end of the round. And I always like to talk about the future. So moving forward, this is year 7. Can you talk a little bit about plans, or do you have anything in mind for what you want this to look like, 3, 5, 10 years down the road, Diane?
We did just have our strategic planning meeting.
Okay.
And the first one, the conversation did talk about expanding it into a 2-day festival. This time we didn't discuss it at all. I think we are at this point committed to keeping it a single day. But our strategic planning, what we decided we really wanted to focus on was increasing the amount of money that we give back, and making sure that people were aware that that's what we do, so that they understand the festival. But we are always open to adding auxiliary events, like some of the Friday events and the Thursday events. And I should have mentioned that there's a brunch on Saturday too over at Cypress and Oak. So you can kind of fuel up before you come. But and we'll see how the Bourbon Women tent goes. Bourbon Women reached out after the event last year, and they're like, we'd like to be involved in a larger scale, because they set up a tent 10 by 10, but they had never done anything like this. And so we'll see how that's received by the attendees, and if they like it, and kind of play off of that and see where it goes. Yeah.
But I think it's great. I think it's great also because the fact that you're letting people know what you're doing. You want to do nice things, and you don't want to be like, hey, look what we're doing. But at the same time, you want people to understand that that's a huge component to what you're doing. And the way you guys do it. And what I've seen on your socials over the last few months, I was like, wow. Because I didn't know you guys were giving like that kind of money. I didn't know. I had no idea that it had grown to that, Diane. So I think it's great. I love the fact you all are doing that and making people aware that, pay money, come and hang out, have a fun time, and get to see friends and have this great event. But at the same time, you're helping other people by doing that, because you're allowing you all to give that money back to the community, which is great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it helps the community too. Sure. We kind of, before we started really giving back, the community had a hard time with that, because you have a lot of stuff going on, and it's a lot of people coming in and invading the town for one weekend. And, and you would see comments like, why is everything about bourbon? But it makes you realize you don't have to love bourbon on the banks, and And I will say, we have a contest here. It's called Frankfort Faves, and it's put on by the newspaper. And you get to nominate your favorite event, local event, and they've done it for years, and we've never made it to the final round. And I understand because 70% are out of state. It's not a local event,
right?
But this year we made it to round 2.
That's
so
awesome.
I'm super excited. And I think it's because the community is starting to love us for more than just the fact that we're a bourbon festival. We're bringing people in and they're spending their money, and boy, the people that attend are so great too. I mean, they're all so awesome.
Well, that's great. Matt, let's jump back over to the whiskey before we wrap up the round here. What do you pick up palate and finish on this one?
It's good and warm. I wouldn't say 118.7.
Yeah.
It's this is a sneaky one, but I do taste a little bit of warmth on it. There's that toasted note that I pick up from the Mizunara. Again, I get sort of like floral notes kind of leading into a toasty sweetness. Almost a little bit of like campfire type sweetness to it as well, and then a nice spicy finish.
It's almost like a cinnamon red hot to me. It's almost like someone took a cinnamon red hot and smoked it. So it's like it's a toasted cinnamon red hot, because on the finish it just lingers on my tongue, and it's that same kind of tingly, spicy feeling I get from like a red hot candy or something like that. And there's that sweetness that goes along with it, but also that spicy kick. But then, like you said, Matt, there's that the toastiness that goes along with that. So that's kind of what stands out to me. Diane, anything stand out to you?
For this one, I think I'd have to block out Matt when I'm trying to focus.
Matt, damn it.
Because he's putting all these ideas in my head.
Our listeners say that every week.
I just want to be like, no.
We could just
because there is something.
Yeah.
There is something. But I can't put my finger on what that is.
I get
but
it.
there is something special there, and that sits right in the middle of your tongue, and I don't know what it is.
Well, Diane,
I'll think of it at 3 a.m.
I was doing my best, to mess up his computer earlier so you wouldn't have to have him on the show. But,
we would have had so much
he
fun.
was so adamant about trying to restart the computer.
I
was
know.
like, damn it. All right.
I just wanted to photobomb this entire episode.
All right. Well, guys, we're at the end of the show. Kind of crazy. That happened really fast. This has been a great conversation, Diane. Really have enjoyed that. Any final thoughts before we close it out tonight?
I would say, people come prepared to buy some bottles. There's going to be a lot of cool bottles for sale, and we've got our bottle check that's free. The Shriners offer that,
Nice.
So you can take your stuff up to the Shriners, and they'll hold a box for you. If you really want to bring something to roll it back to your car in, you can leave that with the Shriners too. And so,
nice.
Don't be afraid to buy some stuff.
Yeah. Very, very nice. Matt, any final thoughts? Sorry, Diane, were you done? Sorry.
No, I was going to say, and if we've got so much going on, it's even if you can only get a Twilight ticket at this point, it's worth coming and staying a couple days.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Matt, any final thoughts before we wrap it up, man?
Yeah, I think like Diane said, even if you can just get the Twilight ticket, having been to the event as a patron and also been to the event as a vendor, I can safely say that I've never seen somebody leave there saying they didn't get to try enough. It's the amount of time, the amount of distillery. It's a perfect amount of time. Everybody gets to try everything they want to. So don't think, it's just a one-day event. It's not going to be worth it. It is more than worth the time, ticket price, and it's going to a great cause. You get to see a lot of great people. Super beautiful site.
Yeah.
Right down at Riverfront Park. It's just one of our favorite weekends of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, Matt. Diane, thank you so much. So happy to reconnect and get you back on the show. This has been a lot of fun. Really appreciate that. Appreciate the collaboration. Looking forward to October 3rd and having the mobile studio out there on site and hanging out with you guys all day and just having a good time. And because it is a fun time, and I'm just really looking forward to being able to contribute. Like you said, you don't just have people come out to hang out and sit there. I mean, we're going to be doing educational stuff. We're going to be talking to people and interviewing people. So we will be actively engaged with the patrons, the attendees that are there. And I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Plus, like you said, there's going to be a place to sit. We'll have some shade, have some TV going, football, whatever. So it'll be a good time. But I do appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us tonight, Diane, for sure. It's been really nice to catch back up to you. Looking forward to October 3rd for sure. And thank you to our listeners. We appreciate you guys as well. Like Matt always says, whatever time of day it is, morning, noon, or night, whenever it is you get your Bourbon Life fix. We appreciate you taking the time to tune in and listen. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at The Bourbon Life. You can also join our private Facebook group, The Bourbon Lifers. We'd love to have you join us in there. If you want to send us an email, have any questions, ideas for shows, or anything, please feel free to email us. You can email us at thebourbonlife@gmail.com. I promise I will get back. I just got an email this week about a show I did last Saturday. So I'm happy to hear from you guys. Would love to hear from you. So please feel free to do that. Don't forget about our good friend Mike, Big Chief. He does the Whiskey Trip podcast. That show comes out under our umbrella every Tuesday. Mike's doing some really cool interviews on his show, so check him out. He's also on Instagram and Facebook as Whiskey Trip, so be sure to give him a like and a follow. I'm sure he'll really appreciate that. With that said, I'm going to wrap it up, send us home with our tagline, which is, may your glasses always be full. May you keep on living the Bourbon Life.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. Our mission at the Bourbon Life is simple: to share our passion for all things bourbon with you every week. And we'd really love to hear your thoughts on how we're doing. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at The Bourbon Life. You can also contact us by email at thebourbonlife@gmail.com. And you can always find us on your favorite podcast platform. If you have a moment, we'd love it if you would rate us and give us a review. So until next week, we hope your glass is always full and that you keep on living the Bourbon Life.